Hi guys, it's Kiana again. Click the thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell. Bye!
Hi guys, welcome back. It's me, Simone. So today I've got a very special guest with me that's going to talk to me and you guys about traveling while black. So sis, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Adebola. My friends call me Ade. I am a travel blogger part time, but full time I'm a senior policy advisor, you could say, working for the government. But I want to focus on sort of like my out of work to day job, 9 to 5 sort of thing. So I am mainly a travel blogger. So I do lots of traveling. I've lived in Singapore, traveled all of Southeast Asia, and I've recently during quarantine started an amazing thing that I'm actually like. It's basically my little baby, and it's called Cooking Travel Talks, and it's basically me getting my audience to watch me on live, and they cook with me on live as well. Well, we basically make a dish from a different country around the world, and basically learn about that country. So with the Cooking Travel Talks, we've been to Nigeria where we tasted suya. And so many people cooked with me. It was absolutely amazing. Like I really enjoyed that one.
It was fun.
We had Afrobeats in the background.
Yes.
Everyone was having a little bop. Then we went into sort of like an Asia continent sort of thing where we did salt and pepper prawns, which was another sort of really good feedback on that.
Mm-hmm.
Then
And the salt and pepper chicken.
Oh yeah, salt. So
there
yeah,
was an
so
option.
but I feel like most people did salt and pepper prawns, but yeah, I know some people did some chicken as well. And then we did nasi goreng. So I had a friend from Singapore who's also Malaysian who taught me how to make nasi goreng. And then finally we had Jamaica and we did saltfish fritters. And we had some bashmore dancehall. Sorry.
Well, I'm just letting you know that it's gonna be everything vibes when I do my one with you.
Oh yes, so Simone's actually going to be doing mine. Doing what are we making? I don't even know.
We'll figure that out.
But we're going to be going to Jamaica again. So we're doing season 1. So I've got a couple of other dishes that we're going to make, and then we're going to go into season 2 and we're going to make even more dishes. So it's really good.
I think what my spirit and the ancestors is telling me to do is some jerk chicken and some fried dumpling because that's something that you can make within the allotted time, and yeah, it's just a banging combination.
Yeah, fine.
When you think of Jamaica, you always think of jerk chicken.
Yeah, I mean that's what most of us Africans know and eat, to be fair. So I mean I don't know anything else. So well I do, but you know what I mean.
And on that topic, because I've let people know in my intro that I'm half Nigerian and I'm half Jamaican. Where are you from, sis?
So my parents are Nigerian, and I always say my parents are Nigerian. I am Nigerian, but I've never lived there in my life, so that's why I say my parents are Nigerian. So don't take offense to it or anything. But my mum is Igbo, so she's from Delta, and my dad is Yoruba from. I want to say Abeokuta, but I know I've probably pronounced it incorrectly.
It's fine. At least you're trying, you know. I will not embarrass myself and say the name of my village because it's embarrassing.
So so I'm half Igbo, half Yoruba, and I try to go to Nigeria at least every 2 years. I've got a Nigerian passport, so too.
Same here.
A citizen.
Yes. We can travel in and out.
Basically.
Thank you so much for that introduction.
No, thank you for having me.
I feel like you've pretty much been on this journey with me. With starting my podcast and
100%, I'm all there.
Branding and promoting, you know, all of that. You've been every step of the way. When I've been a bit nervous to record, why would I be nervous to record?
Just do it, please. We don't have time for this.
But the reason why I've invited you on this episode, and guys, she'll be on many more, so just get used to it. Is because, and I feel that with everything that's going on currently in the world, the topic of race, racism, inequality, oppression, discrimination, injustice within the black community has like been very much pushed to the forefront.
Yeah.
And it's making a lot of departments and institutions and, you know, different
it's waking people up, basically.
It really is. Yeah. And I know I've traveled. And
where have you traveled?
Girl.
No, I'm just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I've been to Europe, I've been to Africa, I've been to America, been to the Caribbean. There was a point in time when my mum was, when she worked at one of her old jobs, she was part of the sports and social club.
Okay.
So she had the lucky job of actually testing out trips and holidays
Oh.
before they actually signed up and sold it to the customers where she worked. And we went on a lot of cruises. So we've
nice.
traveled around the Caribbean twice now, me and my sister and my mum and my gran, rest her soul. That was her getaway for the year. But I really wanted to. You had an experience in a country that I've been to, and I had an experience. It wasn't as traumatic and as as this just disgraceful as yours was. But I really thought that it would be ideal to have you on this platform with the topic of traveling while black, because traveling is your platform, and you've traveled, you've eaten, you've tried, you've explored. Like you lived in Singapore.
For 7 months. It was an absolutely amazing trip. Not trip, it was like the most amazing thing about it.
I mean, just that in itself, you've experienced so much different stuff across the globe, and I really wanted to bring you onto the platform to kind of talk about what it's been like for you to travel while black. You know, so tell me about what it's been like.
So I think it's interesting. I feel like when we talk about traveling while black, I think people need to talk not just about the actual bit where you're going into the country. I think people need to talk as a community how difficult it is to travel as a black person. So you've got the whole aspect of getting your passport sorted, and now I don't know whoever's listening. You've got people in the UK who, I mean, you can even start talking about Windrush and all these other things, but coming over here thinking, you have stay. So I know my mum came here, and I think she assumed that when I was born here, I was automatically British. And I know there's a number of people that grow up and find out by the time they're going to university, they're not even British. So you can't actually leave the country. That's how deep it is. So I feel like people focus too much on, not focus too much on, but there's a lot of placed on once you're in the country, or when you are traveling, there's that whole how are people perceiving me. So going into that from trying to get your passport, like that was hell for me. Even being born in this country, like getting my British passport, I was dealing with things that I hadn't even experienced. So going into sort of like the traveling aspect, once I got my passport, everything sorted, then moving Singapore, living in Asia was quite an experience for me, if I'm honest with you. So like,
I want to hear.
So Thailand, you get stopped, you get your hair touched, you get your skin touched, you get people taking pictures of you, stopping you. To the point where it got to the point where I was like, do you know what? You're going to give me some money.
I hear you with that hair touching and skin and
they don't. I mean, I remember being in the Eiffel Tower with my friends, and I just come back from Nigeria, and I had these long, luscious braids that I got.
Yes.
And
for dirt cheap too.
Yes, like probably £8 for the whole head, and it took a few people to do it. But I remember we was in the Eiffel Tower, and I couldn't feel it because obviously it was my braids. But my friend whispered to me, she was like, Ade, there's like bare people behind you touching your hair. And I turned around, and I swear on my life, Sim, I saw like 8 people having a plait to themselves.
Oh wow!
Like, literally feeling my hair.
How long were they? Like down to your ankle?
Yeah, no, not even that long. But when everyone was close together, it wasn't social distancing time. People were like,
and you're huddled up in the Eiffel Tower as well.
Like, what do you do in that scenario? Like, what can you do? And this is the thing, like, people don't know what to do when they're in these, dumb scenarios. So, like, the worst one, and I mean, I've got loads of stories. Like, I've been called Serena Williams everywhere I go. I've had, you're American, so there's an assumption that every black person's either African or American. It's like black British people don't exist, which pisses me off. I do apologize for swearing.
That's fine.
But then that's like the minor sort of stuff, like when you go to the airports and your hair's being tacked because they think you might have drugs stored in your braids and all this stuff. Yeah. But those are minor stuff. Like when I get stuff like that, I'm just like, do your thing, because you're not gonna find anything. And when I'm going to be sarcastic with you, because I'm going to treat you like you're an idiot, because you are an idiot for trying to racially profile me, thinking I actually have something. But it's when you're actually fighting with the law, that's when it's a different scenario. So just a bit of a background of what actually happened to me in Greece. So I went to Greece last year, August, and basically we went to Acropolis, everything was fine, we was taking pictures, and someone basically grabbed me and pulled me out, screaming at me in Greek. I didn't know what was going on. Now, my partner speaks Greek, so I just thought, he can deal with it because I don't know what they're screaming at me about. Like, what am I going to say? So we get to the bottom, there's police, and I'm just sort of like going over, the main things that happened. They said to us at the time, because we didn't have our passports with us, we used to come and follow them to the police station. And then there was, someone else saying that we were taking pornography pictures. At the time, I was laughing my ass off. When they were saying he was like, these were the guards at the Acropolis, and they were saying that we were taking pornography pictures, and I was like, yeah, funny, because I know I wasn't taking any pornography pictures. Anyone that knows me knows that I can't be taking pornography pictures. And just to add to the layer of how pathetic the accusation was when they were saying this, was I was with my partner's parents. Just to give you a bit of background, my partner grew up in Greece. His parents still to this day live in Greece. Why would someone who's going to meet the parents for the first time go and take pornography pictures or even do anything like that of the sort? So we get to the police station. I'm still chill because I know I'm British. There's a lot of things that you feel like and I feel like there's a bubble in Britain with the fact that you feel like because even though you're black, you've got a British passport, doesn't necessarily mean that when you're in another country,
you're treated
as
British.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, you're treated as black first before anything.
And that's all they saw. So we was at the police station for ages, and it got down to the guards came in, and I'm really going through, like cutting out a lot of the detail.
It's fine, take your time.
And basically, he came in and basically said that I lifted my dress up twice, and they had this on video evidence apparently. Now, till this day, we have still not seen the video evidence, and as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't even exist. So it was pure fabrication, but I therefore had to stay at the station. Now, my boyfriend was able to speak to the police officers because they wanted to take me to a prison cell for something I didn't do. So he was able to say to them, like, I was going hysterical. I was crying. I was trying to say to them, like, look, I would never do something like this.
And then you've got the language barrier because you're speaking English, and they're like, they can speak some, but
they weren't even trying to speak.
They're just choosing to just speak Greek because you're in their country, so you're gonna abide by
basically
what
exactly
they do and how they communicate.
Mm-hmm. So it got to so basically, my boyfriend ended up staying with me. We ended up staying in the station, and the next day I was taken to court. And when I was taken to court, I was taken to a cell with a number of other, accused offenders. I was cuffed for something I didn't do. Now, in my opinion, looking back now, I just feel like they saw black people. We looked good. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. When we're on holiday, we look good, don't we? We get the nice outfits, we get the eyelashes out, all of this stuff. And it probably didn't sit well with him. That sort of, these are not the normal black people.
The angry.
Yeah.
He got angry for no reason.
There we go.
Well, he got angry for a reason, but for us, it's a ridiculous reason.
Yeah, it's an anger of
hatred.
There we go.
Jealousy.
So, went to court, and just to cut the story short, got to court, basically told exactly what happened. Nothing happened because it didn't. The guard wasn't there to make his own, lies again. And I was acquitted immediately, but all through that, you're telling your own truth, and someone's not able to fully, the law is not actually able to take the actual evidence or see any evidence, but they're able to make an arrest based on because of the colour of your skin. Yeah. Because that's basically what it was, and that's all it could ever be.
Discrimination at its finest. Racism at its finest.
And after that, even after I said I was, that was racism at its finest, the backlog I got of your playing the race card, you was dressed like a hoe, all these, other things. And it's like, you're going back to the stereotypes of how countries or how white people perceive black people.
And where were those comments coming? What community was those comments coming from?
Basically, you may have had a few, bounty killers, but
if you don't know, then you're slow.
But the majority of them were the white people, Greeks mainly.
Sorry, I just want to clarify for my Jamaicans out there that, well, just for people actually, that when she says bounty killers, she's not referring to the artiste that is known as bounty killer. She's referring to a group of black people that
think they're white. You forget that they're black.
Forget that they're black.
Mhm.
That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say forget that they're black.
Mhm.
They're black on the outside, but if you just think of the chocolate, that's all I'm gonna say. Continue, sis.
So basically, yeah, they were the ones that were saying all these nasty, ridiculous, just trolling basically, and it just makes you. It reminds me of how the sort of things they were saying reminds me of how white people, when they speak negatively about black people, that's what they think of. The prostitutes. So that I don't know if that guard probably thought I was a prostitute when he saw me. The exoticness, just the negative connotations you think of a black person, and just because you are a black person, when you are traveling, you can be blamed for something you have not done.
Yep.
And without any evidence, can be arrested for that. And it amazes me how many people came to me and told me their own stories of things that had happened, not just in Greece, many other countries. And it's shocking how, is this really real? Like, people can actually get away with that?
Because it's like racism is just so far deeply embedded within society, and that's across the globe. They're used to treating history just continues to repeat itself. It's like, well, we did this to you however many hundreds and fifties and thousands of years ago, but we're going to continue to do that because that's how it is.
Yeah.
Like, to say that you're playing the race card is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's just
there's no reason for somebody to say you're playing the race card is the laziest and the quickest cop out for you to try and deflect from what is actually happening and what is being said and done. But on the outside and on the inside, it is racism. But if it's racism, then we're gonna call it what it is. Don't tell me that I'm playing the race card and you're trying to lessen my feelings and my rights as a human being, because that's what I am first. Yeah, I'm not black first. I'm human first.
Well,
I will always present as a black woman because that is what I am. But I'm a human, so you should treat me as such. And I've been to Greece, and we were in a hotel. It was 5-star. It was I can't pronounce it properly. I usually call it Heraklion or Heraklion. I've got the nod. I've got the nod. I said it. Okay. So we stayed there for my cousin's 40th birthday. And we were at the first pool, which we didn't realize was a quiet pool. And, we've just all arrived. We're excited, want to have some cocktails. We're taking the views, the sun. And I guess we were making too much noise. And when I traveled with my Nigerian family.
It's probably you just being too black to be real.
Of course. So, and I'm first one to everybody knows. If somebody comes over and says, guys, do you mind just being quiet? Or, guys, do you just mind not making a scene? I'm the first one. Everybody knows this. You can't take me to no restaurant, because if I get that slight, I sniff it out from the moment I get through the door, because I see how you're looking at me and how you're talking to me and how you're treating me compared to everybody else. So I don't have patience when it comes to that stuff. I sniff it out from the gate. So I think somebody came over and was like, you're making a bit too much noise. And we got the looks, the glances, the glares, because we were the only black. Tell a lie, we weren't the only black people there, actually. I don't know if I only watched Love Island this year because my gorgeous and absolutely beautiful Priscilla was on there. I only watched it this year, but there was a couple seasons or whatever ago, there was a girl called Samara.
You're saying the name wrong, but I can't remember what her name was.
I'm really sorry if I'm saying it wrong, it's because I don't watch it, but my aunt, I'm sure she'll correct me when she listens to this or when I tell her. But she was in the villa in the resort as well.
Oh, okay.
With her, I don't know if that was her partner at the time, but we got the glances, we got the glares, we got the little comments, this is actually the quiet pool. And I could respect the way that they came to us and said, this is actually the quiet pool. So people usually just come here for silence, take in the view, whatever. If you want to, listen to music and, have chats and do whatever, that we have another pool, which is upstairs. So we then knew from that point, when we go into the pool, we're going to that one because we are going to make up nice, yeah? We're going to make not even make up bare noise, but we won't feel like we're restricted because we're here for a celebration, a birthday, a party. So I don't know whether it must have been the next day we decided to head up to the loud pool, I'm going to call it, because that's what they said it was. They play music up there. I had my girl, I can't remember whether her name was Sophia or she was a very nice girl up there. And she'd always, every time she see me, we have to take shots. Like, shots? What's wrong with you? You're on holiday, no? Shots. So we took shots every time we went up there. She was really nice and mixed our cocktails and whatnot. And I feel that we were having maybe too much fun for one very, very old, miserable man. And again, we were the only black people there at that pool at the time. But we were all having fun and we were including other people too. It was a nice little couple that I met. I think they were from Manchester. And they were like, oh, you guys come, having a nice time. We've got some cigars, you want some, blah, blah, blah. They're flavored, they're really cool, you should try them out. I was like, yeah, of course, I'm going down to the shop right now to go get me some. Everyone was enjoying, except for this old, miserable man. Yes, he was white and Greek. And I believe that he walked past at one point and made a comment like, as if to say, oh, they've never been around water before. I didn't hear that because I told you, everybody knows I'm the first one. Like I don't waste time. I do not waste time like I'm like a pit bull. I just need one snip. What? Who are you talking to? What are you saying? What did he just say? And then remember, I'm around my Nigerian family, so all the BCs, the RCs, the PCs all come out at one time, and the SUX, SYMs come out as well. Like if you don't know what that is, then well, I can't help you still. But he made that comment and walked off, and my cousin's partner at the time, it's now her husband, I think that he maybe heard or somebody heard and like kind of looked at the man, and there was some talk of he made reference to monkeys when he walked past as well. Again, I never heard none of that.
It's not surprising.
Didn't know because we were taking the mick out of my cousin who claimed he could swim, but they wouldn't swim in the water. We're just having fun, seriously, all age groups, all two different generations as well, enjoying. Got to a point where the man decided to stand up from his chair and say that we need to shut up, like be quiet and move and go to a different area. I was like, who is this man talking to? Does he know who I am? For starters, because I don't think anybody gave him the memo. So I'm now jumped up and I was like, what did he just say? Who's he talking to? And then people started to say that he walked past already and made comments and was being very like racist and whatever. Like, so why didn't anybody say something then? It got into a whole cussing match. My cousin's partner at the time, I keep saying at the time, it's her husband.
Yeah, just
my cousin's husband. Now he switched. Like he was like, who does he think he's talking to? You're not gonna be disrespectful. You're not gonna do that. Then you got me in the background with the RC, BC, PC, SYM. Got suck this and got suck that and rare. Like I was going in. But so then so was he.
I can't be like that.
Nah, because at the end of the day, we all paid our money to come here. Yeah. And that's what I always have to say. Like, when people give the looks, like when you're on holiday, when you're on a plane, even when you're on the train or on the bus, like they're looking at you like you've begged your way onto the bus, the train, the plane, into the resort. Like, no, we all paid our money to come here. Yeah. I could have even paid more than you because my pound to the euro is different. So when I'm paying £300, you're not paying that much. You're paying something different. Yeah. Wherever you're coming from, we're traveling to. So I'm gonna respect you as a human being because that's what you are. I'm not gonna show you like you're higher than me, you're better than me. Because you're a human and I'm a human. Furthermore, I didn't come here to please you. I come here to please myself. I'm on a long vacay weekend without my kids. So I'm going to enjoy. Nobody is going to prevent me from doing so. So we got into this whole back and forth with the man. And it was white people that were in the resort that actually started to tell the man, you need to shut up. Like, if you've got a problem, go downstairs. And that same night, I think we were having the meal for my cousins. No, it was the next night. Because my cousin, she went all out. It was her 40th. We all traveled to Greece. Cousins, friends, everybody. Yeah, nieces, nephews. We were all there. So we've come to enjoy. We're going to have a full free 4-course meal the next night. So, we're spending P in your establishment. So the management came, and I was like, so why is he coming over to us to have a conversation?
Why is he not going?
Why is he not going to this
Yeah.
man and escorting him off the premises? Or as my friend would say, usher him out. Usher him out. Yeah, that's what you need to do. But then he was apologizing for the way that the man was talking and for what he was saying. And he is actually wrong, that this is the pool where you can enjoy, because the music was louder than we was. And that's not the music that we were playing, it's the music that they were playing inside at the bar area. So what's your problem, my guy? Like, either you didn't get the memo when you arrived and got told this is the quiet pool and that's the loud pool, but you're not going to try and use the color of my skin and your racist derogatory comments to try and get rid of me, because I'm here and I ain't going nowhere. Like, and that's Greece too. And that I didn't come out of the hotel. I stayed there the whole long weekend we were there. I stayed there the whole long weekend.
I'm not saying this is just Greece, but Greece is the only place where I've had the worst experience as a black traveller. I went to Bulgaria earlier this year before quarantine started, and every time I went skiing, and every time we walked
those
past,
pictures were fire.
Thank you, darling.
They were fire.
But every time we walked past a shop, and I knew he was referencing to us, he kept screaming out Hakuna Matata. Now, the first time I was like, nah, but then there was like 50 black people in the ski resort, and someone must have mentioned it at dinner table and said, "Did someone get called Hakuna Matata earlier today?" I said, "Oh my gosh, so did I." Then the next day it happened. He did it again as soon as we walked past. So it gets to the point where you're just like, okay, do you say something? And I feel like with you would say something. I'm the type of person that won't say nothing, and I feel like in any situation, because I've received racism along the ways as a black travel woman, or just how I've seen how people I've gone on a night bus to go from one part of Vietnam to another part of Vietnam, and I've woke up to flashes where Asians are on top of me basically taking pictures. So like, I'm always someone that's just like, let me just not say anything, because if you do say anything, if someone comes from and you're in their country, who do you think they're really going to actually look to? Do you get what I mean? So I'm always like, let me just not say anything. But even when I didn't say anything, I can still get into nonsense. Do you get what I mean? So it's you can't win. You are black.
You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't.
Like, you can't, because of the colour of your skin.
Yep.
And like what do you do?
That's the thing. What do you do? I mean, everybody. I'm a bit of a hothead. Like, that's me, innit? Because that's just me. Especially when I know the reason why you're acting the way that you are towards me or treating me the way that you are treating me is because of the color of my skin. That's when I then have no filter, and I'm going to treat you the way that you're treating me. We're gonna match. I'm gonna be equally matching your energy, yeah? Yeah.
I don't think you can always match their energy.
No, not all the time, but it's because like you can just hear from the conversations we've had. The episodes I've already put out. Like, when it comes to my blackness, I'm always gonna be passionate about it. I'm always gonna be passionate about it. And I'm unapologetically, uncensored, unfiltered black. Yeah. And that's what I'm teaching my children to be, because they don't even realize that things that they go through in school is just down to the color of their skin. And I'm trying my best to challenge that in a way. Let my hotheadness be a lesson for them. Let my temperament be a lesson for others as well, because I know that with the conversations I have, people are like, wow, because I'm listening to you and you're true. It's right what you're saying, that you can't always be that.
No, you can't, honestly. And I feel like one of the main things I learned as a black female traveller, that you're traveling as a black person, and when you are traveling as a black person, be mindful of that. I think that's the main thing you can do. Because I feel like that was the first time, although, like I said, I've had the name calling, the cat calling, Black Beauty, African, Rihanna, all these stupid things. But when you are literally fighting for the truth, and because I didn't know where this was going to go. Like, while I was being cuffed, sat in the cell,
must be scary.
It was terrifying. And when you're like, Like my partner was saying to me, "Oh, babe, like, well, don't worry, it happens all the time." Because that's what the police officers was trying to say to him. So if that happens all the time, why the fuck is it happening all the time?
Yep.
And then, like, apparently happened that he was saying to me, it happens all the time. Don't worry, they're gonna go to court, and you're just gonna tell the truth, and cool. But for me, like, while you're sitting there in that scenario,
Yep.
you're not thinking anything positive.
No.
All you're thinking is, okay, they can actually put me in prison.
Yep.
And who am I to argue with them? Like, they actually believe, just by looking at me, everything this guard has said to them with no evidence at all. How pathetic. And I feel like, there's steps you can take as a black female traveller, or as a black traveller in general. One of them, I didn't really know about this, which is quite bad, which is, you have your embassies. So those are the first port of call when, if anything like that happens, because you need to let them know, because they should be able to advise you to get the right lawyers and all that stuff. And then have someone that you can call that you just know that when you call them, they're going to answer their phone, so that you can have them helping you with whatever you need to get information wise. And another thing, just travel with your British passport. It might not always be the thing that helps, because I don't think even if I had my British passport, it would have made any difference. It was the color of the skin, that was it. So I feel like you just have to. Those are the three things I would say when you are traveling as a black person. But the reality of the situation is. The reality of the situation is you are black. And don't think, because I feel like this, and I'll come back to that whole, we are in a bubble in the UK, because I feel like in the UK, if that happened, that wouldn't even happen without any evidence. Do you get what I mean? Like, at least for evidence, there needs to be evidence before an arrest is made.
Yeah, because they've got the Crown Prosecution
Service. There we go. You can't be just arresting people.
But then they still could hold you in a jail.
Hold me, but they wouldn't be able to arrest me and then put me in the court the next day. It doesn't make no sense. So, when you are in a different country, understand it's not your laws, it's not your rules, you are black. And however they perceive black people in general, and I feel like Europe as a continent is probably the most racist I've experienced in traveling all the other countries, all the other continents I've been to. So you need to understand that first. So that's why when you're talking about all this hothead stuff, I get it. Like, that's the first thing you want to do. I feel like if I was in the UK, I'd just be like, you lot are mad. I'm not.
Don't get it twisted. Yeah, I'm hothead, but at the same time, I know what to say and I know how to say certain things. That's why I say I'm gonna match your energy. Like, if you're gonna be disrespectful and talk out of the side of your neck to me, then I'm gonna be disrespectful and I'm gonna talk out both sides of my neck.
Oh my god!
Like, and then it's gonna be energy unmatched then, because you wasn't prepared for my mouth. And
I suppose you evaluate the
Of course,
situation.
we have to evaluate, because I see it as I'm in a hotel right now. I've been told by the hotel staff that this is the loud pool. Yeah. I'm not then thinking, oh, well, you're just picking on me because of. It's all about your approach and the delivery. If they'd come to me and be like, excuse me, you're making too much noise for our other customers, then that's when I'm like, okay, well, am I not a customer? Don't my feelings matter? Yeah, the person didn't come to us like that. It was like, just to let you know that we do actually have a loud pool that's upstairs. And we're like, oh, we're really sorry. We'll be mindful of that. She's like, oh, no, you don't need to leave. But just so you know, there was no pressure. Like, oh, okay, you're making too much noise. Let's go now. Like, being the typical black Nigerian family, like, group of people. You're too loud. You're too this. You're too that. No, it was pretty much just so you know. Like, forget the looks, because we get used to the looks.
Yeah, of course you get used to it.
We get very used to the looks. But what I wanted to pick on, when you mentioned about being in the Eiffel Tower, and you turned around and everybody had like a braid to themselves.
I actually found that quite funny. Like, I know it's not funny. We shouldn't laugh about stuff like that. But it was just the awkwardness, because you turn around and my hair was still in their hands as I'm turning around. Like,
and they weren't letting go to allow you.
But they were smiling at me like,
gosh.
What are you doing?
So me, my mum and my sister and my son, we went to Turkey.
Okay.
I think it was June. So Naeem would have been about 5-6 months.
Yeah.
And I think where we went to Bodrum, and we went to like a nice resort that pretty much just people that live in Turkey tend to go to, and it's a family kind of resort. So you'll get mum, you'll get dad, you'll get children, you get grandma, you get auntie, you get uncle, cousins. Like they all traveled as a group to this hotel that we went to. And I think we got there late in the night that day that we arrived. But from the point we got up the next morning, went to breakfast, went to the pool, went outside, went to there, went to wherever, like we were everybody and their grannies could not leave my child alone.
Why?
Like they kept going up to him and pinching his cheeks and saying he's so gorgeous, and then they're speaking Arabic, so they're saying what they're saying, and then they're saying inshallah. So I was like, I'm sorry, what? What was that? And then
they're doing some juju with themselves.
I didn't know what was going on. It was mainly like the older women that were doing it. But I took it as, okay, number one, did you ask permission to touch my child like that? Because that's a first. Yeah? Then I took it as number two, what are you actually saying? Yeah. I know what inshallah is. Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, it's not something negative, but at the same time, I don't know what you're saying before that, so I'm gonna need somebody to translate. And we couldn't go anywhere in the hotel outside without people coming up to Naeem and proper doing all of this, because he was a little chubby baby and like he was gorgeous, like proper gorge. He still is. I love you, son. But he was just as a baby, and he's fair skinned as well. So like, I don't know. I was like, so do I get that too? Like, am I gorgeous? Is my mum? Is my sister? But they were just besotted with my child and how he looked. And when we went out to go shopping, they were then starting to pin, because they have the third eye that's supposed to cast away the bad, the evil spirits. Yeah. They started to pin this now on him everywhere, on his shorts, on his vest. I was like, whoa.
That's worrying.
What's all this? What are we doing now? Because now, no. Next thing, I leave the country without my child, or my child leaves and I'm still here. No. Let's wind it back in. So when we went back I said, Mum, I can't do this. I need to go back to the hotel. Like, I can't. I'm actually getting worried now. Like, I need to go. So when we went back to the hotel, they had an on-site photographer, and he always was snapping pictures. And after he snapped the picture, and I was like, this is getting too much now. And I was like, excuse me, sir, but like, I don't understand why people keep doing that. It's like we're the only black people in the village. So they were really excited. And I don't know, because we look good, it was like oh my gosh, wow. But because it was elderly women, like the grandmothers, I'm going to say, and the aunts that were doing it, I felt it was their love for children. So I explained to him, like, this has been happening. Like, every 5 seconds, somebody would just descend on my child, pinch his cheeks, his legs, and say a whole bunch of stuff, and then inshallah, what's going on? And then there's all of these things that they try to pin on him, like, what's going on? And he said, no, they're basically saying that he's so adorable and he looks so beautiful that they're hoping that nothing troubles him and he'll continue to be that way. I was like, okay, well then why don't they just say that then?
Do we believe
why do they keep pinning these things on me that I don't understand? And when we went to the little gift shop, they would say that this is what we use the eye for. It's like to cast off evil spirits and bad mind and jealousy and all them something there. So I was like, okay, so can I purchase something with that on, as opposed to people just pinning it onto my child and on my top and all of these things? Like, yeah, but honestly, it's because like they don't see black people often. So when they do, it's like they get excited. And then he's a little chubby baby and he looks gorgeous. They're just overexcited. I was like, yeah, but I don't like that. People can't even do that in England. That's like, that's like coming to my belly and just rubbing it, and you don't know me when I'm pregnant. It's like, what are you doing, babes? Like, I don't get down like that. This is my personal space. But because I asked questions, I then understood. So then I just covered him up. Like, he had on a hat, like with the flaps at the side. Of course it was hot, babes. But I didn't want people just coming up to my child and just, like, where were their hands before they touched him?
Yeah, that's true.
And what are you really saying in your head when you're touching and that? No, I'm sorry, I'm not doing
fair
it.
Enough,
but it's like we get that over here as well as in different countries. It's like, wow, a black person. Like, where did you see a black person's image and then see us to think, wow, oh my gosh, like what did you see that made you now be so confused or excited or amazed with the actual black person that you're seeing now? It's like, what did you see? Because they always like to take much focus on our noses and our lips and like give us dark skin tones or too light skin tones or head shapes. Like, what is it that you saw or that you were taught or that you knew of to be, this is what a black person looks like, or this is what it means to be black, to now see me and the rest of my brothers and sisters that travel to be like, oh, wow, oh my goodness, I didn't think that you would look like this. I didn't think that you would talk like that. I didn't think that you would be this gorgeous, this beautiful, this friendly, this calm, so this inviting.
I'm guessing it's either because obviously, you know, America has huge influence on just like pop culture, media, all of this stuff. So I'm seeing black men in orange suits. That's what the eyes I'm thinking. I'm thinking Africa, they will probably see people in huts, in those little mud huts, naked, but with their belly, you know, where it's, you know, gone swollen because they haven't eaten. That's the sort of images I feel like they do see. And if you think about the ones that the black people that do live in these communities and take England to a side, because I feel like we are, like I say, I always say that we're already in this bubble. They are much, the ones that, you know, sell the, you know, the belts, the glasses, they are of much darker skin tone. They stand out a lot more than, say, like us ones that are born and bred. We dress differently, we walk differently. So I'm wondering if that's who they see. So when they see us that come from, you know, westernized countries like America and, you know, of not wealth, but of like a class of, of a level of blackness, shall we say, they do think, oh, this is slightly different, and you do stand out. If you're not looking like you're, you know, an immigrant, you do stand out. And if you're speaking English, you do stand out again. So that's my, you know, feelings of stereotypes. Because I remember when I was in Malaysia, my friend has a shop, her mum has a shop, a Malaysian restaurant, and she has all these Malaysians working in there. And someone asked me while we was having dinner, oh, when are you going back to the UK? And I was like, I'm going back in a few weeks. This is when I was living in Asia. And one of the staff of my friend's mum's restaurant, he came out as we was leaving and was like, why is she going to Britain? And he was so confused. And she was like, because she is British. She goes, oh, no, I thought she was American. Why did you think that? Where did that come from? And so now, when I went to Asia last year for my friend's wedding, and they kept saying, are you American? I said, no, not every black person's American. Because we're not. There is a huge misconception. There's definitely huge misconception, and there is a community of us here. So I feel like now I see where I shouldn't probably say hot-headed, but there's a certain level of, okay, I'm just going to train you. But
ignorance. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, ignorance, and I have no time for it. Like I really don't. And this is why I'm using the platform that I'm using. But I really want to kind of to round up, to kind of get your. You've dropped a few gems and a few insights based on your experience, kind of what people should do, what the black community should look out for and make sure that they're aware of prior to traveling, especially if you're somebody that likes to explore the country and not just, you know, because you have people like me like to stay in at the hotel. I like to sit by the pool, drink a couple cocktails, and take maybe 1 or 2 trips outside. But there's some people that like to explore, like yourself. Like if you really are traveling, want to take in the country and the land that you're in, you've dropped a couple of gems based on your experience. What more can you say? So you said that they should make sure that they are aware of the embassy, the British embassy or the US embassy, whichever country you come from, being aware of.
So, and when I say know your British embassy, I'm talking about when you are traveling, know the number. So have that number saved in your phone. Like, it might feel like it's extra, but honestly, if you get into a situation and you can just call them there and then, that's for me. I feel like if I knew that was the case, I would have called them at 5 o'clock instead of at 10:30 at night. I didn't know that was something I had to do. So it's just something I would do. There's a lot of black female solo travelers that I've noticed traveling as well. So one thing I've always said is make sure, if you are a black solo walk on the main road.
Yeah.
Don't be walking in, little huts or little stuff like that, because things are like this world is real. Like, people are doing some mad, crazy things, and as a black female, you're not going to be the one that they're going to listen to before whoever you're accusing. So make sure you're taking these necessary steps. Do your research. That's another thing. But I feel like people, and this was one thing everyone was coming at me like when this Greece situation happened, was that, oh, you didn't do your research. Now, if we want to talk about research, I can tell you that Greece is known for orgies. Greece is known for loads of statues in Greece where their women, their goddesses, are naked. So did I not do my research? I'm sorry, I don't understand. So I feel like you can do your research, but there's only so much you can find out, because it's like the country almost forgot their history. Like they completely forgot, or maybe they didn't like that a black person was reinventing it. Do you get what I mean? So that's like the main thing. So and to round it up and give you, like, definitely know your embassy, know their number, and it's on my website. If you go on my website, scroll down on the front page, you can look up the embassy of the country you're going to. Have someone who if you call them at 4:00 in the morning, they have their phone and they're gonna answer, because you just need that. You just need that. And that person for me is Renee. Like, I knew if I call her, she was going to call my embassy, because for some reason that time my phone wasn't working. So it was just all over the place. Do your research, but don't do like. And when I say do your research, you can do silly, like not silly, like things like going on Instagram and looking up the black community in that country. So you can just look up the country you're going to and see if anyone, you'll see like on Instagram on the feed that what the black people, you start seeing what things black people doing within that community, and in my opinion, you'll be more appreciated in those areas. Or like, you might want to just DM that a black person and be like, where are the best places or safest places to go as a black person?
Don't be afraid to DM somebody, because and their experience can be real valuable.
100%. And I said the main important one: don't argue with authorities if you know like you can't. And that's more specific scenarios. Like that's a scenario like the Greece situation. Other scenarios where it's just you want and a stupid racist citizen. Yeah, give it to them as much as they give it to you. And fifth, please understand you are black.
Yep.
I know it's not nice to say, but the reality of the situation, you are black. Don't be acting like you're not, because they don't care about where you're from, passport, whatever. They see your skin color, they see what you're wearing, they see how you're speaking, and they will judge you just on that.
Yep, traveling while black. Traveling while black. Sis, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I hope that was helpful.
Thank you. It was. I mean, there were so much more things that I would have wanted to ask, but we have time. We have time. But thank you so much. And guys, Ade's details are going to be below, her website link where you can read her blogs as well, and you can read more detail about this Greece trip.
Yeah.
Instagram, and also information about your cooking travel talks as well. There's an episode every 2 weeks.
Yeah. So we were making, I can't even say it. We're going to Latin America. Let's just say. Sorry. But we're going to be learning about Latin America. And the last one, we're going to do Bayesian. We're going to Barbados. We're going to be doing Bayesian.
Pudding, isn't it?
Yeah, Bayesian pudding.
Yeah.
Bread and butter pudding.
There we go.
With rum. It's going to have rum.
Oh, okay. But no, thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. And again, I look forward to continuing to learning and grow with you all. Thank you.
Bye, guys.